Yo, what's your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys another Warzone 2. Today we're going to take a look at the new best class that is entered the Season 5 Reloaded update, which actually saw a lot of changes to a lot of weapons, and the metas are going to be kind of spicy for the remainder of the game. I was actually expecting the opposite. I didn't think they were going to do this much because it's close to the new game. I really thought they would just kind of let things rock, but there was some surprises in this update, and we're going to get into it now so we can set you guys up for success in the remainder of the season. Let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start with kind of a surprise, but some of the weapons that actually got changed in this update were kind of crazy. Like the Chrono Squall got completely killed. If that weapon somehow survives this update, that gun is God. I'm not putting the Chrono Squall in this because I do not believe the Chrono Squall will be meta moving forward. It's probably going to get taken up by another AR, which we'll talk about in just a second. But for me personally, I think people should be looking at some of the LMGs. Now, the second actually got hit too, which is kind of crazy because the second for me, bro, no one's been using it. I've rarely seen it used. I've talked about people using it, but hey, if they found the reason to nerf it, there must have been, some sort of usage that people were getting on. But for me, the wrap didn't get hit. So this is a weapon that I've used very recently. If you guys seen my video a couple of days ago, you guys will know this weapon is really, really good. And for you guys that have never used it, give it a shot, man. I think this gun right here could be a potential for the new meta, since right now it's going to be kind of up in the air. Because like the Chrono Squad getting taken away, some new weapons getting buffed, some guns that have been good for this whole time didn't get changed like this. And hey, man, it's gonna be very interesting to see what comes out on top. I have an idea potentially of what's gonna come out on top, given the past, but like give a shot to the Rap H, man, because this gun right here, man, is gonna go crazy. Trust. Moving on to the next gun. And this one right here is kind of a surprise considering what happened to the Chrono Squall. The Chrono Squall got absolutely destroyed. It was the meta, everyone was using it, and it got completely destroyed. This Luckyman sub is literally hand in hand with the Chrono Squall right now. If you're using a Chrono Squall, you're more likely using a Luckyman sub. So the fact that this gun didn't get nerfed was kind of crazy, and I expected it to still be pretty good this new update. However, it may no longer be the meta. There's certain weapons that got buffed in this update that could potentially take the throne away from this Lockman sub, but I still think the Lockman sub is going to be a viable option. I don't think it's going to go necessarily away. Maybe even if there is a new meta, like people will probably go back to the Lockman sub. It's just that cycle that this gun has. This gun's just a cockroach. It'll never go away, which is fine by me. The Lockman sub is a cool weapon. I like using the Lockman sub, and hopefully we do get some more competition this time around, especially with some of these changes. But what I'm saying, like I said, I expect the weapons to be pretty solid. And yeah, man. With that being said, let's move on to the next weapon. And here we have a returning meta, in my opinion, because they, for whatever reason, I don't know what the thought process was here, but obviously this gun in season three reload or something like that, got a huge buff. It became meta for a brief amount of time. They finally decided to nerf it. They briefly buffed it a couple updates ago, make it a little bit better, and then today they buffed it again, and it's probably going to be around the same as it was all the way at the beginning of the first buff, which makes no sense because they literally went through a process of building up a gun, breaking it down, and then slowly building it back up until eventually building it back up to where it should have been this whole time. And so, to be honest, the way this gun felt when it was meta, I really do think it's going to probably just go back into it. Just like it took a little break and now it's back. I see this weapon being looked at as the potential next meta, especially if people don't want to use LMGs, which to me, like I said, I believe an LMG is the next meta. Whether or not people are going to go and use another LMG for a meta, that's all, I guess, up to the community. But more than likely, the Lockman 556, considering what got changed in this update, we're probably going to be getting another look, and it's probably going to be another meta. How do you guys feel about that? Like, for me personally, I feel like this gun was pretty cool for meta. I wouldn't mind if it's meta again. It's a pretty satisfying weapon to use, but maybe a little bit of different. Hopefully, we get a little bit of different metas, just because like we already had it before. I feel like some of the other weapons that should have been meta should have gotten a chance to be in the meta should have gotten a chance, but hey, man, they're just gonna let it rock. We're gonna have to rock with it. But regardless, with that being said, let's move on to the next weapon. And this one right here is the most I'm excited about. This weapon, I've been a fan since the first time I've used it. I've been such an advocate for this weapon from the moment that I used it, and all the changes that it's gotten. I've been so happy seeing it get buffed significantly in the last couple updates. Unfortunately, though, not enough to put it into the meta, but this time it got buffed again significantly, and this is the opportunity for it to be the next meta. Both the Lockman sub and ISO, arguably the 1 and 2 of the SMB category, did not get changed, while the Bass P, in my opinion, was inching closer to you know what I'm saying, to their level. And now with this, potentially could be at their level or even above their level, and, you know, bring in a Bass P meta, which, like I said, bro, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. For it to potentially be finally happening, oh my god, it's great because it finally shows an underrated weapon for the whole time being able to finally come into the spotlight. Now, again, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that just because this update happened, this gun will be the next meta. For me personally, bro, the chance is there now. And hey, man, I cannot wait to use this weapon in this new update. It's gonna be amazing because, hey, man, I'm gonna be geeking hard. Like I said, you already see me geeking hard right now. This weapon right here is one of my favorite SMGs, and for it to potentially be the meta now, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But with that being said, man, let's move on to the last weapon. And last but not least, we have the M13B, which may be a little surprised considering some of the other weapons. And I do want to quickly shout out the Tempest Razorback. That's a weapon I don't have leveled up, so I didn't put it in. But that weapon, it's been pretty good. It's been considered meta even like towards this first half of the season. With the big getting buffed again, I could potentially see it being, you know, considered along with the Lockman 556. But in my opinion, the M13B got the second most important buff in this patch notes. Although it's only one line, what it says in that one line is pretty important. Or at least for me, I interpreted it as importantly. Basically, in the patch notes, it says that all location damage multipliers will increase the M13B. So if they were to put that all out on one, it would be a lot of lines, like neck, limbs, head, everything. Like it all got buffed, and I'm thinking it probably got all buffed for close range, medium range, long range. That's how I interpret it. Like it didn't just get buffed multiplier wise. I think it got buffed multiplier wise across all ranges, and it's like if that's the case, this weapon right here could be a serious consideration for the next meta, and I really do hope because I feel like this weapon in Warzone 1 obviously has a bad reputation. I thought it was ass in Warzone 1. But in this game, opposite. It's an amazing weapon. I've had some of my best games with this weapon, and I've been very, very high on this weapon for a really long time as well. Like a lot of these weapons that I put on this class, like top 5 class, I've been high on, and I think now is the time for them to finally get the proper recognition they deserve. And that doesn't even explain some of the other ones that I think are underrated, but these are the ones that I feel like right now have the best chance to make it into the meta. And hopefully, man, some of these class setups in here, you guys actually try out and don't go just back to the old reliable. Because look, I think right now, although it is close to the new game, there's a chance here to have a pretty fun remainder of the game. With some of these metas, some of these guns being really, really good now, I think we can have a potential to have a really like fun and diverse metas moving forward. But with that being said, if you guys enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button and like button if it helped you out. This new like meta could be a little confusing at times when there's a lot of change. I mean, there's a lot of changes, so you may be a little confused. Hopefully, this guides you guys in the right direction. And hey, man, with these classes, man, I need you guys to go out there and get some dubs for me, man. Cause these classes, man, they're nice. But yeah, man. With that being said, thanks for watching. And I'm out. Peace.